Welcome to Feda Channel Analysis, ladies and gentlemen. In case you're watching our channel for the first time, allow me to request you to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. The Jubilee Vice Chairman Mr. David Murathe and the Secretary General Mr. Jeremiah Kioni have revived a very hot debate about Mount Kenya succession. And they are saying that in 2027, their choice for presidential candidate in Azimio will be none other than Raila Odinga. And they are saying that as long as Raila has not given them any alternative, then they will rally behind Raila Odinga. And Murathe and Kioni are adding that by 2027, Mount Kenya will revolt against William Samoei Ruto and will vote for Raila Odinga, because they are saying that there are several promises that William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua gave the Mount Kenya electorates that they have not fulfilled. And they are prophesizing that by 2027 things will be worse than they are today. Now this debate is coming at a time when the Azimio supporters are asking one question, and very vital if you ask me. And the question is, what is the Azimio 2027 game plan and what is the Azimio 2027 lineup? The game plan question is very important because there have been allegations of several factors that made Raila Odinga to lose. You could talk about sabotage from within. Just the other day, Ole Kanchori accused some leaders like Junet Mohammed of sabotage. Some say that the money that was meant to go to the agents did not reach them. Raila Odinga is saying that the IEBC and the court and even the international community robbed them of their victory. And so that is the reason why the supporters are asking, do they have a different strategy, or will they go for that election knowing very well that they're still going to be robbed? And the question about the game plan is very paramount now, because we have several stalwarts in Azimio: Raila Odinga, Martha Karua and Kalonzo Musyoka. Then we've got former governors, people like Ali Hassan Joho from Mombasa, Wycliffe Oparanya from Western, and even other leaders like Eugene Wamalwa, several former cabinet secretaries, even from Central, people like Peter Kenneth. And so it behoves one to ask, now that we are preparing for 2027, do you have a tangible game plan? So when Murathe comes and tells them that they are going to support Raila Odinga, the Azimio supporters need to know how are they going to rally behind Raila Odinga, because each region wants to know, where are we? It is also coming against the backdrop of several attempts by William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua to destabilize Azimio. You've seen Rigathi Gachagua trying to unite Mount Kenya leaders around UDA. In fact, the UDA fraternity in Nairobi have started collecting 10,000 signatures so that they can quit Azimio. And just the other day, Jeremiah Kioni and Kanini Kega and even Ngunjiri Wambugu had stated that they want to quit Azimio. So you've seen attempts to make sure that parties in Azimio ditch Raila so that he can remain alone. The problems in Kanu, where Nick Salat, who is the Secretary General, revolted and said that they need to do some elections so that they can replace their leadership, and this prompted Gideon Moi to suspend him. They ganged up and said that Moi is the one who should be suspended instead. These are problems that many experts believe that are geared towards destabilizing KANU so that Azimio can remain like an ODM affair. I believe that Rigathi Gachagua is one person who is inclined to ensure that in 2027 all the leaders who did not support UDA are persuaded to join them. He calls them prodigal sons and daughters, and he has made it very clear that between now up to 31st of December, he wants them to come home. And I think David Muradhi and the Jubilee Secretary General, Jeremiah Kioni, are sending a message from Uhuru Kenyatta. It seems that Uhuru still believes that when they get to 2027, maybe Raila Odinga can try his luck again, because according to them, they believe Raila won, but they were robbed. So maybe Uhuru feels that they should give Raila Odinga another chance, and in a way they are telling Rigathi Gachagua that we are not part and parcel of your unity calls. These statements, I believe, are also meant to pass a coded message to those who are trying to accuse Uhuru Kenyatta. There is a clique of leaders who still believe that Uhuru Kenyatta abandoned Raila Odinga indirectly. It's like his sabotage, because they believe that Uhuru Kenyatta had the deep state and everything. They don't understand at what point did Uhuru lose the control of deep state that led to William Ruto being declared the president. So I think Rigathi Gachagua and Jeremiah Kioni are protecting the image of Uhuru Kenyatta by telling all the supporters that they still believe Raila Odinga will be their choice. But did you know that William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua would really want this debate to be perpetuated? Why? The more we talk about Raila being in the ballot in 2027, Kalonzo Musyoka will run away. Kalonzo might run away because he has supported Raila thrice, and he has made it very clear that he would not want to support any other candidate. He made it very clear. And so the opponents who do not want the success of Azimio will use this to sell this propaganda that Raila does not want Kalonzo to be in the ballot. In fact, I have had a class of people, a group of people who believe that Raila Odinga should consolidate his support and hand it over to Martha Karua and Kalonzo Musyoka. But if you look at another school of thought, they feel that Raila Odinga is the man to be in the ballot. And if you ask them why, they believe that without Raila, Azimio is dead. And they're mentioning that even when we had problems like the GMO, no one could talk, but Raila came out and talked. When things were not going well, Raila Odinga rallied his support base so that they could go to Kamkunji. And this school of thought still believes that if you leave people like Kalonzo, Martha Karua and Jeremiah Kioni to call for a rally, even in Jacaranda, then people will not come. I don't know how true this is, but they believe that it is only Raila who can give the government a run for his money. And they believe that in 2027, the only person who can still shake William Ruto is Raila Odinga. So this debate, if not carefully structured, can disintegrate Azimio into pieces. And that is the reason I'm saying that the Azimio supporters want a very clear strategy and a very clear lineup where they know this person will be who in this government. Let me ask you a very simple question. If elections were to be called today, Raila is on the ballot and Ruto is on the ballot. Only the two of them. No Wajakoya, no any other person. Only the two of them. Who do you think will win? According to the result of the IBC, William Ruto defeated Raila with about 200,000 votes. Do you think Raila can break this gap? While Ruto supporters believe that he won fair and square, Raila supporters still believes that there was mischief in IEBC. But what do you think can happen in the event that we have an election today? The second question, do you think Raila should be on the ballot in 2027, August 2027? Do you think he should be? And what are his chances if you pit them against William Ruto? Because let me tell you something, 2027 is not a problem, and Raila being in the ballot is not a problem. In fact, even Kalonzo and Martha Karua being there is not a problem to me. The problem is, are they ready for the government? Because William Ruto is busy preparing for 2027. Look at what is happening in IEBC. With the three commissioners having their tenure ending in January, William Ruto will replace them with the one of his own. Cherera and team are going home because you've seen the way the tribunal is handling their cases. It's only Irene Messge who is remaining. The others have resigned. And it tells you, it doesn't need any rocket science to understand that William Ruto wants a commission that will dance to his tune. He does not want the kind of humiliation that took place when four commissioners, Irene Messge, Francis Waderi, Justus Nyang'aya, and the vice chair, Cherera, broke away and disagreed with the result that was announced by Wafula Chebukati. He wants a team that will speak with one voice. William Ruto is trying to look for the former governors and some of the supporters that supported Azimio last time. He's disintegrating Kanu. He wants to cut off the wings of Azimio. So being in the ballot is not a problem, but the mischief that is taking place in the other camp is something that they should be wary about. Because let me tell you something, do you think that it is the best thing for Raila Amolo Odinga to attempt to be the president for the 6th time, and then he comes back to the people that he was robbed by the international community, by the IEBC, by the courts, name it? Do you think it is something that is good enough for the Azimio supporters to hear every day? Because every 5 years you realize that people have hopes when we're approaching elections, but when they come out after that elections, they're disillusioned. Do you think it is time for Raila Odinga to pass the baton to someone? And if you ask me, the someone should be Kalonzo Musyoka and Martha Karua. Because if Raila hands over his support base to Kalonzo, it means that Kalonzo will still have control of Kamba votes. Then Raila will hand over Nyanza, Coast, and part of Western. The advantage of Raila missing in the ballot is this. Do you know there are people who have been indoctrinated politically to hate Raila Amolo Odinga without any reason? If you ask them why they hate Raila, they will tell you they just hate that name. They just hate him because of his Raila Odinga. So if he misses in the ballot, then there are people from central Kenya who will vote for Kalonzo Musyoka. But I want to finish by telling you this. There are people who do not want Raila Odinga to miss in the ballot. There are a clique of politicians in Nyanza who do not have any agenda. Their agenda is to praise Raila and insult William Ruto, and that is their campaign. So if Raila is not in the ballot, then they will not be elected. The second group is coming from central Kenya, are those who are around William Ruto. They don't have an agenda. So for them to be elected, they must insult Raila so that they remain politically relevant in their regions. I suspect, and I want to repeat, I also suspect that the international community are playing mischief with Raila. Once they have robbed Raila Odinga of his victory, then they turn around and they want to tell him to checkmate the government to ensure that the government is implementing the promises that he gave, that they gave to Kenyans. I just suspect, and I've got reasons, I'll tell you later, I've got reasons why I believe that the international community are coming and they're pushing Raila to go to the ballot, to start entrenching himself, to start preparing himself for reasons that they know themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about the statement by Jeremiah Kioni and David Murathi? Your guess is as good as mine.